Welcome to the Gen3 Marketing Podcast, Actionable Insights, where we share thought leadership and key educational information for performance and affiliate marketing. Today's session is called Credit Cards and Compliance. We're speaking with Jason Steele, the legendary financial services writer and the founder of CardCon, the largest conference just for credit card marketers. Today on the podcast, we have Jason Steele, who is a industry-renowned writer for the financial services and travel space. And Jason actually recently participated in the research for the Gen3 original research paper, High Performance, High Demand. So in the paper, interestingly, we've learned that consumers reported financial services to be the second most researched category of all consumer-facing categories in the paper. And so one of the reasons, one of the biggest touch points there are the professional editorial reviews and websites. So actually 88% of those surveyed said that they use expert reviews and websites and editorials that those sources are very important to their decision journey. So, as a continuation of our financial services research, wanted to kind of touch on that and bring Jason's insight more into the picture. I'll add that for Gen3, financial services is one of our leading areas of expertise, and our clients typically see 30 to 60% of their new account opens coming from the affiliate channels, including articles like those that Jason writes. So with that, I'd like to have Jason introduce himself a bit more. So Jason, who are you? Tell us a bit about yourself and why anyone should listen to you today.
Well, I have been obsessed with credit cards and travel rewards for over 15 years, but about 15 years ago, I began writing about it professionally. I've contributed to over 100 outlets in that time. Among them, I was the first contributor to The Points Guy, and I've written for just so many outlets that I lose track. Over those 15 years, I eventually, about halfway through that journey, I started the CardCon conference, which is the conference for credit card media for people who do what I do. And in addition, I also do consulting for everyone ranging from individuals to websites that want to get into affiliate marketing, get into financial services. I've spoken at dozens of conferences, and I think I know my way around credit cards and affiliate marketing pretty well.
I get that you're an expert, but how do you explain what you do to somebody who has no idea of the industry? What do you say to them?
First, I tell them I'm a writer, and that always gets them excited. Before I was a writer, I used to work in computers, and that just put people to sleep. You'd say, "Oh, I work in computers." They say, "Oh, what kind of dog do you have?" They didn't care. But then I tell them I write about credit cards and points and miles and things like that. If they dig a little bit further, usually they will just want to know how they can travel for free. But they dig a little bit further, and they say, "Well, how do you make money doing that?" I say, "Well, it's very complicated. It goes like this: I write, they pay me." It's a very complicated business model, which is, I'm sure, a lot easier to explain than the people who run a blog or a website that uses affiliate marketing. I think your aunt or uncle doesn't quite grasp that as quickly as I write, they pay me.
No, you're lucky. It's a little bit more straightforward from many of the rest of us. We start all of our podcasts with a question to kind of get an idea of your personality. So if you were to create a sandwich, what would it be and where would you and how would you distribute it?
Well, I am an Italophile. I love everything Italian. I spent a month in Italy last year. Just the worst pizza you get there is better than the best pizza you get here. And so I think someone should invent the pizza sandwich. And I'm sure somebody probably already has. I know when I was a kid, sometimes I just take two pizzas and plop them together because I was just super hungry. So yeah, I think if you had two small pizzas and they were just perfect, but you didn't want to eat them by the slice. You want to like put them in a sandwich. You could slice it in half, put it in a Ziploc, take them to lunch, take them on the plane with you, things like that a pizza doesn't really do very well.
Yeah.
That's that would be amazing to me, because all the sauce and the toppings and the cheese would all goo together. You'd have this beautiful crust on the outside, and everything would be wonderful.
That's amazing, and not soggy either. No.
Am I the first person to come up with
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I think you just invented something. So maybe in your,
Oh, there
your
you go.
next
I own the right.
your next career, for me, you just got me thinking. Is I love a really good meatball sub, but the challenge is I want the bread to be crispy on the outside, but on the inside, kind of has absorbed the tomato sauce. And I swear I can't find that around here. The bread is always soggy, even when I ask for it toasted. So anyway, I'm going to invent that to go along with your pizza sandwich, and we can
Okay.
start a business to figure out the science behind the crispy sub on the outside.
Sure.
So back to business. So Jason, as we were saying, we've seen a huge shift towards writers developing content for publishers that are including affiliate links that are either commission or cost per action based. So has this had an impact, or how has it had an impact on your approach to kind of writing your expertise?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first started doing this, I had a mixture of clients who wanted content that was focused on affiliate marketing, and some of them just wanted content that would draw the readers in. And they felt like once the readers got to their site, they would eventually become fans, and somehow they would make revenue off of that, advertising, affiliate marketing, some blend of the two. Over time, though, especially the last few years, they've started to really laser focus on SEO and affiliate marketing. I'm seeing a lot less demand for articles that are just, hey, I think the readers really want to see this, and more, hey, we have this credit card. There's something out here that we want to get commissions for, to get conversions for. Why don't you write about that? And oh, by the way, here's the SEO keywords we'd like you to use, or here's the links, internal links within our website that are going to make this article do well with SEO and help the rest of the site. So they've gotten really, especially post-pandemic, sometimes the marketing budgets were slashed during the pandemic, especially with credit cards, and they've gotten really focused on, hey, let's get some conversions here. And also, the industry just continues to be incredibly competitive. There are, all these 100 outlets that I've written for, they all compete with each other, and there's probably 1,000 more that I haven't written for.
So, you were saying that the trustworthiness and the accuracy is incredibly important as you're writing. So talk about how, you evaluate and kind of write about the cards for your content.
Yeah, well, I have to be very impartial, and it comes as a surprise to some people. It probably came as a surprise to me at one time that the outlets I write for, they don't tell me what to write. They don't tell me, hey, make this card look good because it's a big commission. They've never done that. They're relying on me as an expert because I have credibility with the reader. In the same way, you're not going to trust a review that's 100% positive or 100% negative, frankly. You're going to trust a review that says, hey, there's some good sides and some bad sides. And that's what I try to do with the products I review. A really great rewards credit card that I use all the time, every day myself, I'm still going to say, hey, this card does have a high annual fee. The interest rate is higher than a non-rewards card. If you're carrying a balance or you're spending modestly, this isn't the card for you. Likewise, if it's just a really poor, non-competitive card that has a lot of fees, I'm going to have to come around and find something. Hey, it's got a beautiful design. The card looks good, and if you don't mind paying a lot of fees, this card could help you build credit. I'm not going to just trash it and say, you'd have to be crazy to apply for this card, even if that's not really a card that I would recommend anybody. So when I do that balance, I think that builds credibility with the readers. Everyone's skeptical. No one wants to believe that something is all good or all bad. And that's largely true.
So do your descriptions ever include, like, you'll look like a major baller if you drop this one at the restaurant?
Oh, I'm not really up on a lot of the lingo. That's not really my style. I have had some outlets who wanted me to be a little bit more personable, but I say, look, a credit card's a financial product, and it's an important one, and choosing one is an important decision. Uh, my personal philosophy is, the terms, the rates, the fees, the benefits, the rewards. That's what's important. If it looks cool, so much the better. But I would take a plain card that had a fantastic offer over a uncompetitive card that looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's saying that as a person who has a credit card as a business card. This is actually my business card. So, and I think it looks beautiful, but it is a bonus when the card looks nice,
Yeah.
but it's not something I would rate cards on in terms of appearance. I'll save that for your clothing, your jewelry, maybe your car. Most of the time you're using the credit card, you don't even see it, right? You're using a mobile app. You're doing it over the phone or online. I guess when you go out for dinner, it's the big time when people prepare their plastic.
Definitely. And so you talked about a lot of the fact finding and research that goes back to kind of your background as a history major and kind of looking at the resources and the facts. What other sources do you use to kind of find that information?
Yeah. Well, as someone who studied history in college, we learned that the most important sources are primary. You got to get it right from the horse's mouth. So if I am researching a credit card, I will go out to that card issuer's website, look at the landing page. I'd look at the Schumer box, which of course is the standard format for terms and conditions that all credit card issuers have to display, and that tells me exactly what the terms are. And if they changed yesterday or a month ago or a week ago, that's okay because I have the current information from the card issuer. No question the validity of that. If I was to rely on, say, secondary sources such as other websites, reviews of those cards, then I'd be opening myself up to being inaccurate. And of course, that would run afoul of compliance. It's probably the worst kind of compliance problem you have is maybe I'm listing an offer that no longer exists or a benefit that's since been removed. But it also allows me to form my own opinion, kind of devoid of maybe the conventional wisdom. Certainly on some more obscure cards, I might read what others have to say about it, but I'll always rely on the primary source for the terms, conditions, rewards, benefits, things like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned compliance, and that is such a critically important aspect for the card marketers as well as for what you're writing. So, just can you explain or expand upon that a bit?
Yeah, it was a famous football coach. I want to say Joe Lombardi, maybe it was somebody else, or Vince Lombardi, who said, winning isn't everything; it's the only thing. Well, I say compliance isn't everything; it's the only thing. Meaning, the game's over if you're not compliant. It's not that you've won or lost; it's that you don't even get to play.
Yeah.
You write something about a card that runs afoul of the compliance rules, and the outlet you're writing for is no longer going to host those links and make any revenue. And I've heard of situations where it could be years or virtually forever. So I don't want to be the writer who is responsible for that. I don't think I ever have been. But you don't want to call points miles and miles points. You certainly don't want to get any numbers wrong. Some card issuers want you to call it a welcome bonus instead of a sign-up bonus. These are all the nuances that you have to be aware of when you're writing about credit cards, and that accuracy is ultimately the most important thing. After that can be, driving conversions, entertaining the reader. Even grammar and spelling are not as important as accuracy. I'd rather have an embarrassing typo than have the wrong terms and conditions.
Yeah, no, it's critically important. Definitely, as you said, it's the relationship between the publisher, the customer, you, the card issuer. So, yeah,
it's all on the line. And when you make a major compliance violation or numerous minor ones, they just send you a letter saying this relationship is over, and there's no appeals. There's no please, can I have another chance? It's just they've already moved on by the time you got that letter, and there's a long line of other outlets waiting to give it a shot.
Yeah, and one of my favorite quotes of yours from our paper, where you talked about you need to write high quality content, and as we already talked about, very trustworthy content, because otherwise it just kind of devalues the whole industry and value of the channel.
Yeah. we've all had this experience, I think, where we're shopping for, I don't know, a mobile phone or a dishwasher or a television or whatever it is. And we go out to websites and they're not providing us with valuable information, or they're just saying, yeah, this is the greatest product ever. You should buy it right now. And how long does it take till our finger clicks next and moves on to or back, goes to Google search and tries to find a different website that's offering a human voice, that's reviewing it, that's giving positives and negatives. And so I want the sites I write for to be that site that readers land on when they're trying to evaluate a new credit card. Oh, this person knows what he's talking about. He's giving me positives and negatives. He's telling me how I can use this card, who this card is for. I love Ferraris, right? But would I, use one to pick up my kids from school? Probably not. They'd make a mess of it, and they couldn't all fit in the back seat with their backpacks. And in the same way, credit cards are the same way, right? I'm not going to take my credit cards in my wallet and say that you should have them. The city you live in, how you use your cards, what's your financial situation, all those things could affect if this card is right for you.
Yeah, and I think that just ties again to the trustworthiness and the goal of affiliate strategies and publisher strategies as well is to have it be a trusted source. So what I thought was interesting to me was kind of the process that the process before and as the assignment gets to you, right? So if in our case, if the agency, for our clients, will reach out to the publishers and, talk about what we want promoted on behalf of our clients, and then it gets to you. So talk about kind of how that, I know you talked about the research, but the relationship between you and the publishers.
Yeah, well, I won't be part of that dialogue between the client and the publisher. But what I do know is the publishers do a lot of SEO and keyword research. I'm sure they look at, they have affiliate marketing managers. Ultimately, the editor comes to me, and it could be that, or it could be I'm pitching the story to the editors. And we have what I sometimes call a balance of idea origination, meaning it's a common question I get asked. Well, do you pitch all your stories or do they give them to you? And the answer is yes. About half and half. In some outlets, they give me 100% of the stories. Other outlets, I'm pitching 100% of my stories. But almost everyone else, is in between somewhere.
Yeah.
Some will give me some strict SEO guidelines. Others will give me, I'll pitch them one sentence, best credit cards for whatever. And they'll say, okay. And that's it.
Yeah.
Give me 1,000 words, have it done by Tuesday. So it varies pretty dramatically. I mean, certainly I enjoy writing the ones where I get to pitch the ideas or, up to a point, because sometimes pitching is the heavy lifting, right? I mean, I could write hundreds of articles a year. It's pretty hard to come up with hundreds of ideas. But other times I feel kind of, it's relaxing when someone gives you an article that has an outline and everything and all these, sometimes it feels like the outline is almost as long as the article. I've had that before. It's like, oh, this is easy. I just go, it's like, color by numbers, you just go step by step. And before you know it, there's your article. So if I'm having a long, exhausting day, that's pretty easy to do at the end of the day. And but it doesn't really get my creativity.
The juice is flowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, it's important to reiterate, as you were saying, like they might say write about these 5 cards, but you don't know which one might have commissioned the article or kind of. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. And I've even had outlets tell me that they have to, basically enter into a contract or an agreement with the merchant saying that I will not, choose articles for anything other than my expert opinion.
Yeah.
There have been outlets in the past that even want me to use some sort of objective criteria to say, okay, I need you to rank the rewards, the benefits, the rates, the fees, and come up with an objective analysis. And thankfully, I don't see that too often because, the weighting of each category spoils the objectivity, in just the same way, a busy parent like myself might look at trunk space as the most important thing in the car and choosing not 0 to 60.
Yeah.
Whereas a race car driver first might choose horsepower as the most important thing. Well, we're both going to choose different cars that we find to be our favorite.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe you can get one with both just to check all the boxes.
Right. I mean, the credit cards I use have really high interest rates. Why? Because they have lots and lots of rewards and benefits. And they'll necessarily have high interest rates. Someone like half of Americans who have credit card debt would say, well, this is a horrible credit card.
Right.
Why should I get a credit card with a 30% interest rate when I can find one with 18%?
Yeah.
And they would be correct for their situation.
Yeah, and you're just reiterating as well the when it goes back to that data point of the heavy research that occurs when someone is choosing a card or other financial product, and yeah, like why all of the different types of publishers and comparison sites exist, so people can find that
Yeah, yeah.
specific card.
And sadly, what I find is a lot of these comparison sites are basically just giving you like the rates in terms of the card. They're not giving you an expert opinion.
Mhm.
So you might not go out and buy a television, by saying, well, it weighs 26 pounds and it's 32 inches high and 60 inches wide and consumes 12 and a half watts. That you want to read, oh, it has a vibrant picture and it's
Yeah.
compatible with all the new technology and the remote control is easy to use, and the same way I want to tell that story, that kind of a story about credit cards.
Yeah.
And not just say, well, this is the interest rate and this is the annual fee and blah, blah, blah. Hopefully I can intrigue the readers whether they get that card or a different one.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so what are you seeing? Again, you've been in the card analysis and affiliate space for a while. So what do you see are the trends for financial services and affiliate marketing? Kind of what's most prevalent today?
Well, yeah, I mean, the ongoing trend, which is nothing new to anyone who's been in here, but it just keeps getting more and more so, is that card issuers are being more and more restrictive on the outlets they want to work with. And, if we could go back in time 15 years and start up our own websites, we would, set up all the major card issuers and they would all be thrilled to work with us. And if we did well, we would be one of the remaining, large outlets that has all these direct relationships. That ship sailed a long time ago, and many people went to the secondary affiliate marketing platforms where you would, your website would link to their website, which would link to the card issuer. But even that ship is slowly moving out of the harbor, as I hear more and more of the smaller websites are no longer able to establish that kind of relationship. So it just keeps getting tighter and tighter. Everyone sees the success of Brian Kelly and the Points Guy, and everyone wants to be like Brian. Who wouldn't? But the card issuers don't need hundreds and hundreds of websites competing with the Points Guy, kind of cannibalizing their revenue. And the same is true for other niches in this field. So we do see card issuers and other financial sites, wanting something unique. Okay, what are you giving me that this other popular site doesn't have? Is a question I hear a lot when outlets apply for a relationship with a card issuer.
No, that's incredibly interesting. And is it the publisher that's providing that unique differentiator, or is that coming from the card issuer as well?
Well, the publisher has to offer something unique. Why is my site different than the Points Guy? Why is my site different than NerdWallet? Why is my site different than anyone else's? Because when the card issuer is evaluating who they want to work with, they want to reach potentially new customers that they're not reaching through other outlets. Obviously they want compliance, they want sales, right? They don't want to invest the time of doing the compliance work and all that in an outlet that's not acquiring new customers for them.
No, that definitely makes a lot of sense. So we like to kind of make sure and all of our listeners are getting some actionable insights from the podcast. So what would be your recommendation for financial services that want to kind of expand on their affiliate program?
Well, you need great content. I think, people like myself, hopefully, content creators can do that. Don't be taken in by claims that, we'll just put something out there and the readers will flock in and we'll get these conversions and make lots and lots of money, because that's just not how it works. You do have to offer something different. You do have to offer a voice. You do have to drive readers to your site. You could do that a little bit through SEO and good SEO practices, but it has to be through good content, good writing to make it there. You do have to work hard to build these relationships with the card issuers. You'll almost certainly have to start with one of these secondary markets out there, like Quinn Street, that does these. You link to their site and they generate the conversion and give you a cut of the commissions.
Yeah.
And so it is hard. Again, time travel would be a very valuable tool here to go back before there was such intense competition. But of course, I haven't seen that invention yet in reality. So you have to be doing it better than your competitors.
And so what should the card issuers and the brands be thinking about as well?
I would say, is this outlet a trusted source? Do they have insights? Do they have credibility? Are of course they going to keep up with compliance? There's a lot of readers you could acquire by offering shady, non-compliant advice. An example of that would be sign up for this credit card, and when you get the sign-up bonus, cancel it.
Right.
That's like telling people to walk into the grocery store and saying, instead of going out for dinner, just go to that free sample and just grab all you can. I mean, it's not ethical. It's not right. It doesn't make sense. It kind of, and it's extremely not compliant, and your days as an affiliate will be extremely short. But you might acquire a lot of readers doing that. But then what are you going to do with them when you don't have any revenue on affiliate marketing? So you want to chart not a straight and narrow path. You want to comply with the rules. You want to be able to tell the merchants, the financial services companies, how and why you're going to be compliant. But then you want to offer great content. If you could personalize it a little bit, readers get to know your authors. That's great. That's not within some people's brand, but other people have that brand. You can build that. It's also a get rich slowly. I mean, you could build up this your readership over time, and thankfully it has a long tail. Meaning, articles that I've written are still, 5-10 years ago, are still out there. Yeah. They're still hopefully generating revenue for the publisher who paid me for them.
No, that's excellent. And you were talking about as well for like the merchants and card issuers that you need to let the writers write and make sure they're using the consumer language and kind of not controlling too much of the narrative.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think sometimes I fall towards being a little bit more institutional than I should. I think I should probably show more of my personality, joke around with the reader a bit, but it's like, if I'm writing for maybe an outlet that was once a legacy news source, right? A major news magazine or a news channel or something like that, and this is their online component. I don't know. I'm worried one of my editors is going to kind of say, no, that's not our style. Yeah. This is a major company, and you have to speak like our brand. But then again, I sometimes get places, outlets that want me to write more informally and more, you're going to be a baller if you have this card, like you said.
You're going to use that now.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm 51 years old. I probably don't speak the same way people half my age do. And maybe that's my disadvantage going forward. I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, get me in a room with my fellow credit card experts, and we're slinging cards and having a good time and say, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh no, it's terrible. We have very strong held opinions on various credit cards.
I have to tell you, you and I were talking about a specific card earlier this week, and then I got an email promotion for that specific card. So you never know.
Use the link on my website if you're.
I know. I mean, obviously, but it was just they're listening to us.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're referring to, and it's a very well-known card.
Great. So you mentioned CardCon, and I know Gen3 is very excited to participate in November. So for the listeners, like why should people sign up, and what are the great benefits for both publishers and the card issuers?
So I'll tell you something that I said when I announced the first CardCon back in 2017. I said, I once read that George Lucas created Star Wars because he wanted to see that movie, and no one had made it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was back then, when I started CardCon, I figured, well, someone else must have created a conference for people who write about credit cards, and of course, nobody had. So I wanted to go to that conference. So just like George Lucas created Star Wars, I created CardCon because I wanted to be at that conference. I wanted to have a couple days where I could hear about the latest trends in credit cards, consumer credit, and credit card affiliate marketing. Those are the three things we talk about. I also want to network and interact with my fellow experts. I mean, there's some really fun people in this business who get to be freelance writers, who get to travel around the world for free with their points and miles, who are part of the credit card industry, which is both highly profitable and very competitive, two rare qualities. So, the people, even at competing card issuers, are often friends with each other's. I tell my fellow credit card writers that we're not competitors, we're colleagues. And it always comes back to me, people who I, go out of my way to help and mentor, come to me years later and say, hey, I have this new client, they need some help. Would you like to join us? And it feels good to be, I'm hoping to, as the person who hosts this conference, to set a tone for the industry of, hey, we all get along, we all enjoy working together. We might switch companies every now and then, switch jobs, switch outlets, but we still have this relationship that transcends that. I consider a lot of people in the industry to be my friends. So for example, we're going to have, last year we did it in New Orleans, this year in Nashville, the day before the conference, we're calling the Fun Day. Fortunate enough to have my friends at PenFed Federal Credit Union sponsor last year and this year. And we're in Nashville. We're going to have tours, we're going to have networking, have lunch, get to know everyone a little bit before we start the conference, have a good time. So hopefully those are good reasons to join if you want to learn more about credit card, consumer credit, and affiliate marketing, and you want to have a good time and see Nashville, which is the most energetic city I have ever been to.
Definitely.
As someone who travels a tremendous amount, I've never seen a place like that that's just hopping 24 hours a day.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, but I'm also looking forward to the content. And you're saying there's 3 kind of major topics you'll be covering.
Yeah, one of the things I always tell people when we talk about credit card affiliate marketing, and certainly those who have been doing this know this, credit card affiliate marketing is so different than any other area of affiliate marketing. You go to the big event in the industry is Affiliate Summit, both East and West International, and there you'll have the meat market, and you'll stroll up and down, and people will practice almost literally grab you and ask you to be an affiliate for their travel company, their dating website, their apparel website, their dietary supplements, things like that, and they're begging for your website to become one of their affiliates. Credit card people are almost nowhere to be found, and in fact, we're trying to find them. We're scrolling through the list of attendees. We're trying to Google them. We're trying to call them. Trying to get 5 minutes with them, because it is a privilege to be one of their affiliates and to work with them, and you have to convince them of your worthiness. And of course, we talked about compliance. So those are the kinds of things that I'm trying to illuminate, bring out to the open. I don't think anyone's written a book about credit card affiliate marketing. I'm sure that the people who are doing it really, really well are very reluctant to share their secret sauce. But every year I'm able to coax a few really good people onto stage to give us some highlights. And, I think people get a lot out of that. But you also learn about, of course, the credit cards, the products from the people like myself who know them best. And we also talk about affiliate marketing. So it's, or talk about consumer credit, I'm sorry. Consumer credit being kind of a purposefully mysterious concept, because of course the FICO and Vantage Score, they don't disclose their formulas. So that's always an area where attendees are eager to learn more.
So talking about actionable insights, it sounds like CardCon is going to be a very valuable experience.
And the industry is constantly changing. There's always new insights to be discussed. It's not a very static field. I can't speak for other fields, but it's one of the more dynamic fields out there. There was legislation this year that did not pass, that we're going to be discussing and debating the so-called Credit Card Competition Act.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of very, very strong feelings on both sides about
Yeah.
this. AI is a very, very big thing when it comes to content. Affiliate marketing is where all our money comes from initially to the outlets and to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, people go because, we get almost everyone coming as a professional,
Mm-hmm.
they're full-time professional in this field. I discourage people from coming who are just interested in learning about credit cards, but otherwise aren't in this field. So it's a pretty high level of attendee.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Jason, thank you so much. We'll be sure to include a link to the CardCon registration in the
Sure.
description. But yeah, thank you for your time. This was super interesting, and
Sure.
I learn more every time we talk. So,
Always fun to talk to you.
great. Well, thanks so much, and we will connect again soon.